Hey guys, it's Sam with two M's, and welcome to this MYXclusive interview. I hope you guys are doing okay and doing well and staying healthy during this time. But in just a bit, I will be having a very special guest who will be joining me, and she's an incredibly talented artist who just put out a new single called Made for Silence. So we're going to be talking about that, but also what's been going on in her life. So everyone, please welcome to MYXclusive, Miiesha.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Miiesha. Thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, we're excited to have you too. So, how have you been? How's life?
I would say really slow. Life's
Mm-hmm.
been really slow at the moment. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been at home for the past maybe 2 months now.
Oh.
Since the whole lockdown and all the sort of things. Yeah, like I was
Mm-hmm.
meant to play a couple of shows this month, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately they all got postponed due to COVID. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a real bummer, but it's gonna go with the
Yeah.
flow.
Definitely. We feel you. We're also on lockdown when life has been very slow the past year and a half, but like there's so many things going on, but also nothing at the same time. I feel like we can
Yeah.
all kind of relate to that. So, how has that been for you, kind of dealing with how everything has been going on, especially in the past year and especially with creating music?
I would say, like, just in terms of, because I used to move around a lot. I used to move
Mm-hmm,
around.
mm-hmm.
Everything has slowed down so much, and it's really hard to kind of just sit in one spot. So it's
Yeah.
really hard for me to kind of just sit in one spot and really just, like not really, other than me writing music, because I write music almost every day, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just like no shows, there's no going out meeting people and things like that. And, you would
Mm-hmm.
understand. And it's just like, yeah, I guess I'm just taking it really slow.
Yeah, I feel I totally get you. 'Cause sometimes you just really need the energy of
Yeah,
other people to kind of like
definitely.
recharge you. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Especially as a artist or like as a performer, getting energy from like a crowd is like a
I
huge thing
know, right?
too.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
because my band, they're all like based
Hmm.
in Brisbane and other places and all this
Hmm.
sort of stuff. And I'm kind of in Rockhampton, and like
Hmm.
I don't really have a lot of I guess creative friends or like creative people that I can go to and
Hmm.
feel comfortable to write music with or to jam out with. And I just don't have that here as I would have it
Hmm.
somewhere else. But like I'm kind of stuck. So
Hmm.
yeah.
No, definitely. I feel like we're all stuck in like, oh my God, we want to kind of interact with so much people. But
Yeah.
hopefully, after a while, we hopefully will be able to do all of that. And it's gonna be such a great moment. I feel like when we get to reunite with all of these people that we want to see. So how's that been for you, Maisha, especially with like staying creative? Because I personally also have struggles with, kind of maintaining that kind of like creative fire. But you said that you like write songs every day. So how do you kind of maintain that?
I get up.
Mm-hmm.
I get up, I'll make a cup of tea, and I will bring my laptop outside and have my speaker
Mhm,
and stuff outside, and I would just sit for a few hours, and I would
mhm.
just sit and write, regardless if I think
Wow.
that I'm writing something good. But I will just
Mhm,
write stories, write poems, just write whatever I can, because that's how
mhm.
I'm just gonna keep myself creative. I'll just listen to
Yeah.
heaps of I'll go on YouTube and watch other people's live shows and stuff like that, and
Mhm,
that's how I try to stay creative. Is just always
mhm.
just waking up and it'll be like, okay, let's figure out what I'm gonna do today. Oh, I've already seen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch another one. I'm gonna watch a couple of
Yeah.
interviews or something, and
Mhm.
just that's kind of how I've been trying to keep up there.
Oh, so it's kind of like a constant thing that you just kind of like tell yourself, okay, this is what we're gonna do for the day, and it just kind of like
Yeah,
comes to you. I feel like that's such a great way to kind of keep it going too, because you're like really telling yourself, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Yeah.
yeah, because I'm not exactly in my creative element. Like right now, I don't feel the
Mhm,
most creative.
mhm.
Regardless if I don't feel the most creative, I'm still gonna get up and just write something anyways.
No, I love that. I feel like I should apply that to my life with things that I do. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do this for today. Let's see what happens. I feel like that's such a great way, kind of like taking it day by day. I think is one of the
Yeah,
best things that we can do, especially nowadays. But throughout this whole like process, I'm sure you've realized a lot about yourself too. I mean, we all have. You know what I mean? We've kind of were forced to look at ourselves, both the good and the bad parts of ourselves. So for you, Miiesha, what was the biggest thing that you learned about yourself in the past maybe year and a half?
I think the biggest thing that
Mhm.
I've learned about myself is, man, I've learned so much about myself.
Yeah.
I've never sat with myself for this long. And I've never,
Mhm.
because there's a difference between, like, like, there's a difference of being alone, but actually sitting with yourself and learning to
Mhm.
understand yourself. I think that was a struggle for me because
Mhm.
I've never actually genuinely wanted to know myself either. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you get to know everyone else, and you're so comfortable about around being with other people, and that's who you are with other
Mhm.
people. But then when I just sat there and was just like, okay, like, what do
Mhm.
I like? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I learned a lot, and I think I learned a lot about being patient and learning to be in the present moment and just learning to
Mhm.
accept that I am where I'm meant to be. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
I can't speed this process up. I can't
Mhm.
speed it up. No matter what I do, I can't force things. I just have to learn how to be present and accept that, yeah, I sit outside most of my days now. I sit outside and I sit and write music. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's
Yeah.
so boring, and I'm just sitting here and but I just have to learn how to just be here with myself, sort of thing.
Mhm.
I think that's what I've
Yeah.
learned.
Yeah, definitely. I think all of us were kind of forced to kind of just be with ourselves, which can be
Yeah,
very difficult, especially as people who, love to see other people, love to get to know other people. Kind of getting to know yourself is kind of like, who am I really? It's kind of like who is this person? You know what I mean? So I feel like yeah, I feel like we've all struggled with that too in the past year and a half. And like I
yeah,
said, like you kind of just taking it day by day, I think is the best approach to it, to kind of not like pressuring yourself to. I feel like that's really great way to go about it.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like through your music too, we get to see like a lot of yourself too, because I've noticed about your music, it's very personal. I feel like you center a lot of it on culture and family and of course like selfhood. And I do want to ask, like, how was it like kind of you write a lot, like you mentioned, and how do
yeah.
you kind of translate everything that you write into music? Because I can imagine like that's really such a process, you know what I mean? So what was that like for you?
I think the way that I go about writing my music,
Hmm.
I like to write in stories. I like to write
Hmm.
stories and poems first before
Hmm.
and then, I'll go and I'll read my story, what I've written, and then I'll turn it
Hmm.
into a song somehow.
Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
usually my process. Like, I can't just like write songs because I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just, I just don't write music like that. And,
Hmm.
and in saying that, I reckon that this whole lockdown is the most that I have written over the past year. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, just
Hmm.
being in this lockdown, especially this year, has been the most that I've written, that I've got to sit down and actually write is
Hmm.
the longest, like, since I've actually written.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, because yeah, which is a really good thing because I don't know, it feels different this time to sit down and write.
Hmm.
It feels different. It feels like, because I've gotten to know myself more, because I've gotten
Hmm.
to understand what's going on in here a bit more, which a lot
Hmm.
of us have to face what we've been kind of running away from a lot of the
Yeah.
time. We've got to sit down and kind of face that, and yeah, I think, I don't know. I really like writing while I'm here in this sort of
Hmm.
place. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It feels really
Hmm.
different. It feels more like I know what I'm trying to say, sort of thing. Instead of, oh, let's write a song about this.
Ah.
But it's sort of
Mhm.
like, yeah, listening to my inner voice, I guess, for one.
Ooh, so it's kind of like flowing out of you, like, okay, this is what's
Yeah,
happening right now. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I love that. So it's very like genuine and very not forced. Because I feel like when we do stuff when we're forced, like if you put too much pressure in yourself, like, okay, today I'm gonna write a song. I feel like that's not the best mindset too, because it kind of
yeah.
feels
No,
a little
honestly,
bit forced, right? So I love that you're able to kind of connect all of these things about like yourself and how it's reflected in your music and also your writing, which I think makes us even more excited that you're able to release your music during the pandemic too, because that is such a feat. You know what I mean? Being able to release music despite everything that's been going on. So I'm sure that was like crazy for you too.
oh yeah, that was.
Mhm.
honestly, I thought, what's gonna come after Nyaringu? I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so let's just release this music. And even though I've released it, doesn't feel the same when you're not going out there and you're not playing
Yeah.
shows. It doesn't feel
Mhm.
as exciting, or you just kind of have to sit at home or just sit wherever
Mhm.
you are and just watch it
Mhm.
kind of play its role, or
Mhm.
take its course. And
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. But we're still really grateful that you're able to release music because I mean, music is one of those things that like all of us have like really leaned on during this time. I mean,
uh,
that's really that right? Like it's like a
yeah,
saving grace for all
100%.
of us during this time, which is why I want to talk about your latest single, Made for Silence, which actually continues the narrative of your last single, Damage. So, Miiesha, could you kind of tell us how how these two songs connect?
So Damage is originally about me and the relationship between me and my mother, and it's kind of been a
Mhm.
roller coaster with my mother
Mhm.
since I was like 10. And
Mhm.
I don't know, I had to let. There's been a lot of things that I had built up over the years, and
Mhm.
when the first lockdown came, oh my gosh, I tell you, things were just the relationship between me and my mother wasn't good at all. And
Mhm.
yeah, I guess those songs kind of formed within that first lockdown. So
Mhm.
me and my brother that I write with, we just sat down and these songs just came out. And I don't know, but yeah, well, anyways, Damage is about the mother, is about my mom, and it's kind of like I'm telling her that she's damaged, and she's telling me, no, I'm damaged. I need to fix myself. And it's kind of going back and forth, like, like it's not good enough for her, or I'm not good enough for her, and she's not good enough for me, sort of thing. So it's kind of been like, when are we ever going to accept each other? And when are we ever going to really listen to each other and say,
Mhm.
look, I love you for who you are, and all of this sort of stuff, and things like that. And then
Mhm.
so that's that story. And I guess Made for Silence is about me and my mum arguing all the time.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah, because within these next two EPs that I'm going to release, it's like a roller coaster. The first one is about us and the problems that we have, and
Mhm.
the way that I'm dealing with it. But then the second EP is the same problems, but we're dealing in it and with a much lighter view. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like more compassion and more love, and just
Mhm.
um, really reflecting on how I used to feel, how I used to deal with that emotion of anger. And now
Mhm.
it's more of a
Mhm.
calm sort of, it's like the calm after the storm sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, in the next couple of songs that I'm going to release, it's definitely just a roller coaster between me and my mum.
Mhm.
And, just Made for Silence is just honestly just about me and my mum just arguing. Like, all we
Mhm.
ever do is argue. Nothing I say gets across to her, nothing she
Mhm.
says gets across to me. And it's sort of like,
Mhm.
oh, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
It's literally just me just telling her to just, like, just zip it, just please.
Yeah.
So that's that. That's Made for Silence.
Yeah. Mhm. Oh,
Mm.
so it's really like a very personal story to you, like it's very obviously you just talking about it with your relationship with your mom kind of dealing with everything and so many emotions I can imagine like anger, but now it's kind of like also kind of how you're dealing with it. I'm sure has changed a lot too over time. And I love the title of this too. I feel like it's also a very powerful thing. So what for you, Maisha, like why did you choose Made for Silence as like the title for this one, especially because it's something about it's the song is about like how you and your mother kind of like continue this back and forth.
I guess Made for Silence is kind of talking about, in a way, it's like saying that I am, although that I can be very angry and very thing.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna lash out at you, or just,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Because I feel like, I guess I'm not gonna lash out in anger all the time. Like, I'm just
Mhm.
letting you know that, because the way that she basically, I don't know, it's kind of weird to say, because yeah,
Mhm.
it is really private, but
Mhm.
I don't know. There's always been a lot of anger surrounding me in my
Mm-hmm.
life, and a lot of yeah, just a lot of anger surrounding me in my life, and I didn't want to be that anger. So that's why I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna, even though I know I can be very angry, I'm not gonna express that because I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Definitely, really, just don't want to be that person. I want to handle
Mm-hmm.
things in a much different way, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
then when it comes to my mom, it's like, nah. As soon as she wants to say something, it's just like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's literally me telling her, I wish she was made for silence. I wish she could just
Mm,
be quiet and just listen for once. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like a lot of us can relate to that too. It doesn't necessarily have to be like our own mothers, but kind of that figure in our life who can't seem to listen and
Yeah.
understand the things that we're trying to say. And that is so frustrating. I totally understand like where you're coming from because obviously like you want to get your point across, your message across, but just can't because this other person is kind of like refuses to listen. So I mean that's a really difficult situation that a lot of us can relate to. I mean, like I said, doesn't really have to necessarily be our moms, but like someone in our life who is that way. And I love that you were able to express all of this through the song, which has a crazy infectious beat. Can I just say it's just so good. So what was it like kind of creating the song that went with this narrative?
Well, I didn't expect it to be so upbeat.
Mm-hmm,
I didn't expect it to be what it is now, I guess.
mm-hmm.
I was kind of going on the more R&B, like let's keep it real, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be put in a box,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
um, you know, I feel like I honestly think that beat, that production, just really suits the whole narrative of the song because it's sort of
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like feisty and just like, you know, like stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but
Mhm,
I absolutely love it. Like
mhm,
honestly, it's a fun song. It's a fun
mhm.
song, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I love about the song. Like even though like the narrative is like obviously like a little bit more intense, if I may say, like it's a little bit, like that kind of situation, but the song kind of is like upbeat, kind of makes you want to vibe and all of that, which I think is a great way to package the whole narrative too. Because I mean, it still makes us feel all kinds of things despite, it being like really like vibey and all of that. And I do love the music video too, which is also kind of related to Damage. So can you tell us more about like what was it like creating the music video for this?
Made for Silence.
Yes.
Um, it was fun. It was really fun.
Mhm.
Like when I'm in the car, they just had like it was on a trailer sort of thing.
Mhm.
I think I really enjoy the whole process of making a music video. It's just I don't know.
Mhm.
It's just it really is fun. Like honestly, it is.
Mhm.
But yeah, we did it in Sydney,
Mhm.
and or did we do it in Melbourne? No, we did it in Sydney. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. We did it in Sydney, and
Mhm.
because I had my family members down with me there too, and it was kind of
Oh.
fun just to show them like, hey, like this is what I have to do. Like when I'm making a
Mhm.
video, like this is
Mhm.
what I have to. This is who's going to be here and all this sort of stuff, and it was really cool for them to see and to kind of experience that too, you know. And
Mhm.
I think I just think the best part of making the video is just the crew. That's literally like the camera crew and whoever's
Mhm.
there. I don't know. It's just fun because I don't know. Just yeah, with that thing around being around people and having that positive energy and all this sort of stuff. Like yeah. Um,
Yeah, I can imagine.
but with the meaning
Mhm.
of the song, so it
Mhm.
so the car is in both of the videos. Damaged and
Yeah.
made ones.
Yeah.
And that car represents my grandmother that had just passed 2 years
Mhm.
ago. And
Mhm.
my grandmother had reared me up since I was a kid, and in the first video, in Damage, it's sort of like me and my
Mhm.
family are all on our grieving paths, and we're all
Mhm.
grieving. We're all kind of trying to fix this car. We're all sitting in the car, and we're just kind of like the car represents my nan, right?
Mhm.
And you know, everybody regrets things, and everybody is still
Mhm.
looking for things, and she's no longer here anymore, and it's just like
Mhm.
you know they're on their own journeys now, and sort of at the end of Damage, I'm kind of taking off in the car and I'm kind of leaving them behind, not like leaving them
Mhm.
behind, but sort of just like, hey,
Yeah.
look, I'm going now, you know what I mean? i'm
Mhm.
taking
Mhm.
I'm taking, so the car represents my grandmother, and
Mhm.
I'm taking my grandmother on this journey. Like I'm
Mhm.
going, I'm gonna go achieve something. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go strive. Like, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
take everything that she's embedded in me, and I'm just gonna keep going. And so that's
Mhm.
where Made for Silence is. I'm literally
Mhm.
driving around in the car, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going. Like, I'm gonna make it somewhere. I'm driving. I don't know where I'm going,
Let's
but I'm
go.
going.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of
Yeah.
like the car. The car's a very significant part of the two EPs.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Oh. I love that, so many parts of yourself has really kind of spilled into this narrative and you and your music and also the music videos. So we can see like how personal it is and also how much like, how it can be like vulnerable but also kind of empowering at the same time when you're able to do such things. So which makes us even more excited for the EPs that you have planned for everyone. So what can we expect coming from the EPs? Like how has it been working on the EPs?
It's been really good. Like,
Mhm.
I think it was really fast actually because we had written
Oh,
these songs.
really?
We had written
Mhm.
these songs at the beginning of last year.
Mhm.
Finished like obviously because of COVID and all the sort of stuff. We didn't exactly
Mhm.
couldn't exactly just get them over and done with. But then the beginning of the year of this year, I had
Mhm.
went down to Sydney and we had just smashed all of these songs out in the studio, and they're all finished. Like all the songs are done, and I've kind of just
Let's
been
go.
sitting and waiting for them to be
Mhm.
released because just having these two songs released, I think music is so powerful and so healing, and not
Mhm.
only healing to others, but I honestly have releasing these songs has also healed myself, is helping heal myself in a way
Mhm.
because it's like, you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
I don't get to talk about these sort of things, but it's actually so important to express yourself instead of bottling
Yeah.
it up. And
Mhm.
just even hearing the song and when other people resonate with it and when they say, hey, like thanks, because I've had this problem or this, you know what I mean? And
Mhm. Mhm.
it's like you're not alone, sis. It's just like you are not
Mhm.
alone. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
No, yeah. I mean, that is such a great way to kind of like really express yourself through the music. And also, like, it helps you, but also helps others at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, it helps you kind of deal with everything, express yourself, but also your music is able to help other people, like, all around the world. Like, you may have never met before, but they're kind of like relating to your music, which is such a powerful thing, which is why, like, I keep saying we're so thankful for artists like you who are able to create music during this difficult time because music is really, like I said, the saving grace or one of the saving graces for a lot of people, which makes us so excited for your EP. But we are gonna savor Made for Silence, obviously, because it's such, like I said, it's such a vibe. Like I love the song so much. But we can't wait for everything else that you have planned. But before I do let you go, Miiesha, do you have a message to everyone who, especially in the Philippines, who has been listening to your music and really, kind of relating to your music, especially during this time?
Yeah, I just if I had one message,
Mhm.
I would say like honestly,
Mhm.
I, if I had one message to say, like just even talking about Made for Silence and Damaged, I
Mhm.
would honestly say, just please learn to forgive and
Mhm.
move on, and understand and really love because whoever you're arguing with, or if it's your mum or if it's your parent or
Mhm.
your auntie or your uncle or your sister that you haven't talked to in like 2 years because she did whatever,
Mhm. Mhm.
like really, I hope that you do find understanding and just learn to love that person, and I don't know, like learn to forgive because this is a very small, like, I don't know. I just feel like we only have one life. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be
Mhm.
living in anger and living with this regret. And like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And just yeah. I think forgiveness is really important.
Mhm. Definitely. And I think that's such a beautiful message for everyone, especially after everything we've learned in the past year and a half. Life is really short. And
Yeah.
forgiveness, I think, is something that we should all practice in different aspects of our life. Like, even forgiving ourselves, I think, is a big part of that
So
too.
true, so true. Because
Yeah.
even after, even just with sitting with yourself and
Hmm.
learning how to go through emotions that you've been kind of shoving off to the side for years,
Hmm.
I have like so much brought up anger from the past that I didn't even
Yeah.
realize was still there.
Hmm.
And I was getting like, very frustrated, and I just had to go through this whole month or two or three just to learn how to
Hmm.
forgive those things from the past. You know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, damn. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm. Definitely. And I think it's such a it's a hard thing, forgiveness. It's really
it's so hard.
difficult. It is so hard, but something a conscious thing that we have to keep
Mhm.
doing, to be
Yeah.
able to actually do. So that's a beautiful message, Maisha. So something that we will all carry and hopefully remember throughout this time. And obviously, we're going to, listen also to your singles and to all of your music, especially Made for Silence, which is also a great reminder of, things that happen in life that, can be frustrating, but obviously we have to forgive these
Definitely.
things that happen in life. So thank you so much, Miiesha, for joining us here
Right, thank
on
you for
Mix.
having me. Thank you for having
Yes, thank you for having us to interview you. But it was so much fun getting to talk to you. And to everyone who tuned in to this exclusive interview, don't forget to stream Made for Silence. That's by Miiesha. It's available on multiple digital streaming platforms. And also check out its music video. But once again, thank you so much, Miiesha, for joining me
thank
today.
you.
And thank you as well to everyone who tuned in. Once again, this has been Sama Tuams and Miiesha. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.